Hello, good evening. Welcome to another Unplugged Live. I'm just waiting for other fellows to join. Well, we're gonna start in a minute. Good evening, Gabriel. How are you?
Good evening, Lionel. Good evening, everyone. So here we are again, Monday Live.
Yes, well, welcome to another Unplugged Live. Well, Sergio tonight is not able to join us, unfortunately. He's been having a rough day, like I've had as well, and like many others on the road had. Well,
Yeah,
first of
tough
all,
day in Portugal. Yeah,
yes, for everybody watching us, be very welcome. As you might have seen, the news haven't been great. Well, we are having a lot of fires throughout the country. I went through the major one this morning, several hours stuck on the road, but well, got to Lisbon with my guests, safe and sound, and well, let's wish all the best for the people that are fighting the fires. I see that Alice just joined us. Good evening, Alice. You might be not too far away from the danger zone. Wishing all the best for the people in central Portugal. And well, uh, it's what it is. Unfortunately, once in a while we have this unfortunate event in here. So well, tomorrow we'll be back on the road, and let's hope that things will get better. Okay, so around Aveiro, Porto, not far from Douro Valley, near Viseu, things don't seem great. Well, our topic for today, so it will be me, Leonel Rodrigues from Desirable Portugal Tours near Lisbon, and I have Gabriel Lima from GL Tours with me. He's from the Algarve, so the beach guy and party guy. And let's talk about the importance of mapping your vacations with precision, or mapping your vacations quite well. What's this? Well, I've been noticing that a lot of people get a little bit, I don't like to say it fooled, but in fact, it ends up being by some marketing maneuvers or some geographical issues when they are planning their vacation. And it happens more than often that people book a hotel thinking that it's a quite central place. And I'm just talking about the hotels. This is one of the first concerns about this subject. And they end up landing in a place that has nothing to do with the original location that they were thinking about. Just to give you an example, there are several hotels called something Douro. But when you go to see those Douro hotels, they are not really on the Douro Valley or the wine region, but they are along the Douro River. And if some people expect to book a place and accommodation right at the Douro Valley, they end up booking a place that is further down the river, not on the wine region. Well,
Mhm.
the first thing to get or to understand is to map your goals, map your locations, map the places you want to see. By example, if you want to go to Douro Valley and want to visit a certain town or a certain vineyard, certain winery or such, well, check on Google, check on Google Maps. It's the easiest way. How far it's the place that you are booking from the place that you want to go. Okay, and I'm using Douro Valley because this is it's an example, but it's something that exists quite presently, but it happens a bit everywhere. Okay, So I have an example not far away from where I live that they announced their hotel as something Lisboa, and they are 40 kilometers out of Lisbon. And I remember being when I worked not so far from that hotel. I was working well somehow in a partnership with it, and I saw a lot of people kind of annoyed. Okay, they were annoyed because they were expecting to be well closer to Lisbon. They were not expecting to need a transfer or to call a taxi or so to go anywhere, even to find a restaurant. Yeah, they had the restaurants of the hotel. If they wanted to come out of the hotel, there was nothing around. So this happens a bit everywhere. So my first advice is really this: um, instead of booking your accommodation and then go to search what you have around, flip the coin. Okay, try to check what you really want to see, and then consider the best convenient accommodation. So to check what you have near the location you want to go, and this ends up being well a very practical way to plan the things because you need to decide really your goals, the places you want to go, and then worry about the accommodation and not the opposite, because you might end up well in places that have nothing to do with the location that you were originally thinking about. So, well, this is just well to begin our topic. I know that over there in the Algarve, you might also have a few issues, Gabriel. You get flooded with a lot of questions about people, well, trying to understand where's this, where's that, how to go here,
Yeah,
how to go that.
yeah.
So, well,
Mhm.
what do you have to tell us tonight?
Yeah, well, good evening, everyone. Of course, the Algarve is a big region. The Algarve is we don't have a big city here, but the region itself it's quite big, way bigger than Lisbon and Porto altogether. And I've seen so many times people they are trying to do their plans. They ask for, they ask for help, and some other people. Then they, of course, they give the best suggestions or the best tips they have in mind. But sometimes people they actually ended up booking also places who doesn't match what they want, or maybe places where very far away from the spots they want to see. Or, for instance, in a place like Albufeira, which is labeled as a party town, the thing is, we have so many other areas here who are amazing. And sometimes people they book in Albufeira, but instead of booking, let's say, for instance, Galé, Falésia, Olhos d'Água, Santa Eulália, they ended up booking by the strip, and then of course they have trouble there because it's especially in summer. Of course, it's a party strip, and of course, it's not the best place to stay in summer, not even in winter. But the thing is, we have so many other places here. And the same goes for the whole region. Even today, I saw someone asking where's the best place to visit Benagil. And then they ask something like it's in Carvoeiro, Portimão, or Lagos. I mean, sometimes, okay, I get it. I mean, for me, it's very easy to check a map. Even today, I was sharing some of my personal, my background, my story when I was a kid. And since I was a kid, I love to check maps. So for me, geography, it's something, I wouldn't say easy, but it's something that I really am kind of an expert in geography, to be honest. I love geography. So for me, it's very easy to understand that, okay, Lagos is further west, Tavira is further east. So maybe they are not the best spots for someone who come to the Algarve just for one day and when they have the goal to visit the Benagil cave, for instance. So it's much better to stay close to the place. But then we keep seeing, I mean, people they share what they want to share, and they share what they think it's the best. Some people they don't value travel planners, or I mean, they don't value. They don't need for some reason, and then they ended up sharing, chat GPT itineraries or whatever. And then I think, I use chat GPT a lot, so I love technology, and it's a nice tool. But I mean, where's the empathy? Where is the, building a rapport? I mean, it's just random advices that this artificial intelligence bring from different sources, and maybe it's not the best itinerary. It's not the best suggestion for you. Recently, I read, I think it was a lady with a certain age with some mobility issues, and he shared something about staying in the Algarve. In the first post she posted, I spotted the place, and I thought, okay, this lady, she's gonna be in trouble because she said she has some mobility issues, and they ended up staying in a hotel, which maybe is a good hotel for people who like moto and car racing, so close to the racetrack in
Okay.
Portimao, but 20 minutes north
Yeah,
Portimao, I mean in the
I,
middle of nowhere. So they stay there, you know the place, of course.
I
So
know the
they
place.
stay
Yeah.
there. There's only one hotel. I don't even know. Maybe there's some shop there. I don't go there quite often, to be honest.
My,
And then,
I
of course,
haven't
they
I
start.
haven't been there recently, and let me tell you this: the closest spot for food that I remember was a little cafe like half a mile away that had some great sandwiches. That's where we used to go when we were going to the racetrack.
And maybe it's the only place, and the lady, she didn't know about this. And then she was asking for the closest grocery or supermarket, and then she ended up taking a taxi to go to Portimao, 20 euros each way. I mean, August, it was in August. This was maybe in August or maybe the beginning of September. I mean, peak season, people, they stay really far away, so the price of taxis, Uber, sometimes they are very expensive. And of course, the lady, she was totally disappointed with the place. But hey, she booked a place there, right? And but why? If we look to a map, we know the car racing, the center, the Autodrome of Portimao. It's quite far
Hmm.
from Portimao. It's quite far from everything. It's in the middle of nowhere.
But
So
but
they
it has Portimao on the name, and that's what tricks the people.
Here we go. So people, they read, okay, this is a hotel in Portimao, but no, it's 20 minutes away from Portimao. And it's, well, they ended up being very disappointed, frustrated. I'm sure they spend way more money than maybe the money they thought they were saving there, because of course there is cheaper than staying by the Praia da Rocha in Portimao, because we know in summer. So, I
Hmm.
mean, it was a very poor planning, and they struggle a lot. And this is just an example I saw on Facebook. I don't even know exactly where, but in my daily, when we work with people, then we hear stories. These same things happens in Italy and whatever. So, I mean, planning is very important, and understand the maps is also very important. Portugal is very small. It's a very tiny country, but make no mistake, this is not that small. This is not like, okay, if I stay there, I can walk there. No, if you stay in the wrong place, you're gonna waste lots of time. You're gonna get stressed. You're gonna spend money that you didn't expect to spend. So by the end of your vacation, me, if you were thinking about saving something because you choose a place here and there or whatever, you're gonna end up wasting time. And be aware that each hour you spend in Portugal, it's expensive, because when we travel, it's not just the flight, it's not just the hotel. Each hour has a value. If you split the money you are spending per day for each hour, if you're gonna waste 1 hour, maybe you are wasting, I don't know, under the euros or 50 euros. So it's very important to plan very well, and ask for help. There are professional people who are able to help you. Local, there are many local guys throughout the groups. Some, they are very knowledgeable, and some, they are really professional, which means that they take care of you. So they don't tell you you should stay here or there just for the God's sake of what they have in mind, whatever it is, but because they understand what you need, what are your needs. So they build a rapport with you. They make lots of questions, and they try to help you. And yes, I've been seeing this throughout Facebook. And yeah, sometimes I just sit somewhere and someone start talking with me, like today in the video. Oh, where are you staying? Where are these people, they are saying, oh, we stay there, but if we knew better, we would stay in a different place. So knowledge is key, and planning is key too, in order to get some good memories in Portugal. Otherwise, you're gonna collect some, maybe some good memories, but also some frustrations. But this is important.
This and now you touched one subject, and I'm gonna keep with the same thoughts we've been talking about. I'm gonna share a few examples or a few practical examples. Okay. As you know, well, Portugal it's subdivided in municipalities. Let's call it like counties or something. Okay.
County. Yeah.
And then you have the towns themselves. So I'm going to give you a few examples that can easily fool some people, and they are not aware about. Okay, by example, you know Sintra quite well.
Mhm.
That's a huge area. Okay, Conselho de Sintra, it's a quite big area, and I normally make a little bit fun of the situation because as soon as we drive to the Queluz National Palace, okay, that is a beautiful place. There is a sign right next to it saying Conselho de Sintra. So the municipality of Sintra starts right there. The county of Sintra starts right there. And uh, what we have, in fact, okay, there's a hotel just in front, Pousada de Queluz, but geographically, that belongs to Sintra, but it is not Sintra. Okay, you have a lovely palace to visit across the street. You have a couple of restaurants just not far away. You have a lovely park, but technically, it is not Sintra.
Mhm.
And then I see people booking places, or once again in Sintra, a municipality area, but they go to stay in little places like Praia das Maçãs, like Colares, or even to some of those old farm estates that by name they belong to Sintra, the county, but they are too far away from Sintra, the town.
Yeah.
And this is an issue. If you don't have a
Mhm.
transportation, if you don't have a car,
You are in trouble.
um, you might not get an Uber. Well, over there, it's not the hardest spot, okay? But you might not get an Uber or a taxi to take you to the places, or you need to set up a private driver to, do a private transfer or a private tour, whatever, to take you to the place. And, it will cost you more than just booking a hotel
Oh, yeah.
right in the center of town. So you will need transportation. And as you just mentioned, the taxi from the racetrack of Portimao, uh, 20 euros times a few times it's money. Okay, so this in Sintra it happens quite commonly, but it's still possible to call an Uber or such. Now I'm going to give you another example, and this is the place that everybody wants to stay. Let's talk about Pinhão.
Pinhão.
Pinhão, it's a lovely place in the Douro Valley, but it is a town that, from what I've checked, from what I saw, has roughly 600 inhabitants. Okay, so you don't expect on a town that has 600 inhabitants to have abundant taxis, to have Uber service, to have a reliable bus service. Of course, you have transportation over there because it's a touristy place and a lot of people end up staying there. So some operators already know that there's business to go on over there. But you cannot rely that you just grab your phone and get an Uber and it will show up. So in such a small town, that will be very, very hard to happen. The same thing happens in a few other locations, okay? I see a lot of people wanting to stay in Óbidos. That's a lovely town, but you might get, if you're lucky, find an Uber. And to move from there to go anywhere else might be hard. But then you have the other side of the coin. There's a few resort areas, there's a few hotels, and even nice places to be that identify as Óbidos, but are right on the beach or in the middle of the woods or the golf resorts or such, that unless they call you a cab, unless they call you a taxi, there will be no transportation. And I'm pretty sure that the taxi won't be just 20 euros, it might be a lot more. So
Oh, yes.
it ends up costing a lot more money to do this kind of trip. So the advice is, in fact, even if the place states that it is belonging to Sintra, belonging to Óbidos, belonging to whatever, check on the map where it is. Probably it might belong to that administrative area. It is managed by the local town hall, but it might not be right on the town. And then you need to always add the transportation back and forth, and that will increase the cost. I have nothing against the hotels and resorts and B&Bs that stay in more secluded areas, more hidden
Yeah.
away areas.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
those places are mostly tailored for two types of travelers: the travelers that have their own car, personal, rented, or whatever. And as you know, in Portugal, we have a lot of, well, what was usually called turismo rural, that we love to go to those places because we drive there, okay?
Yeah.
Even when we want to take a vacation, we grab our car and we'll go to these
Yeah.
places, okay? Or then those kind of places might be tailored for someone that has already a transportation service prepared. Because if sometimes just the simple fact that, okay, in the evening, let's have dinner somewhere, and there's nothing around, the closest
Yeah.
place to
Exactly.
have dinner, okay, might be too far away. So
Hmm.
this is it. And it's something that it's truly recommended for people to really look at the map, ask the questions, because there's a lot of pros and cons on booking certain kind of places. But if transportation is an issue, some people might end up being stranded in a place without, well, transportation service, without moving nowhere.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
well, I don't want to take over our life, but I just remembered an episode. It happened to me a couple of times when I was working for a company before. People who booked villas on golf resorts, and that you can relate very well over there in the Algarve.
Oh yeah. There are many.
You know better than me that several golf resorts have plenty of villas to rent, but some of them are so far away from the main gate or from the reception that in certain cases they have a
You need a
golf cart,
cart.
or they
Oh
have a
yeah.
golf
Yeah.
cart, they have a van, they have a shuttle inside the resort.
Mm.
Now imagine this: you want to go for breakfast, there's nothing available for breakfast on your villa, because unless you have an agreement that they will bring breakfast to your villa, you have nothing. Now
Yeah.
imagine this: arriving at the end of the day with the transfer service. Oh, we rented a beautiful villa, and then the day after, there's nothing for breakfast. You need to call the shuttle. They need to bring you somewhere, or they need to bring you something. Okay, I lost the count on how many times at least a big bag of donuts made the feast in the morning, because I stopped by the supermarket, okay, and I brought
Yeah.
the big bag of donuts, so at least people had something
Yeah.
before we would reach, well, some I would say civilization, until they could have breakfast.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
I did that several times, okay. So this is just all about the planning, geographical planning.
Yeah. Yeah.
The pictures look so
The
beautiful, the place is so
maps.
awesome, but then you just miss the most basic amenities, okay. And
Yeah.
well, this is hard sometimes to deal with, because the marketing, we know, that wants to, well, to embellish those places.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Exactly.
you end up, well, stranded, okay, being stranded in a place, and you might regret that. So this has been more than common to well, to
This
happen, and to have
happens.
seen that.
Yeah.
So
Uh,
plan it well, and check, double check, triple check the map, ask
yeah.
questions. That's my recommendation, because it will avoid, as you said, and very well, wasting a lot of money from the time you waste
Yeah.
trying to get somewhere. Okay,
And
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 this is really a really big issue.
yeah, and get unnecessary stress. So when we travel, we are looking for relaxing, not stress.
Yeah.
You were talking, and then I was just recalling so many happenings here. People were staying here 7 kilometers away, 5 miles. It's not even too much, but every single day calling a Uber or something, even before Ubers became a thing here. I remember so many people. Gabriel, we are here in the middle of nowhere. We didn't know this was so far. On the map, it looks closer. And then, like you said, we have big resorts. So many times people, they stay here, it's off season, it's very affordable, it's a beautiful resort, but they are very far away from the gate, from the shops, whatever, and then they need to spend money in Ubers, taxis, or the private transportation of the hotel. The hotels were way more expensive than an ordinary taxi or a Uber. Yeah, this has been amazing. Even last week, I had a couple, and they stayed in a very nice spot close to Albandeira Beach. So not far from Carvoeiro, Suitzalba. It's a very nice spot, but nothing happens there. And then, of course, we went for a tour to Faro. Yeah, basically Faro. We went through Lolé too, Lolé. And then they visited Faro, and it was the second time they've been here. For sure, they will return one day. And then they said, and they wrote on some groups, they wrote, next time we're gonna stay in Faro. Why Faro? Because for them, and this is suitable for them, not maybe not for other people, because they saw, okay, if we stay here, we can easily walk to so many cafes, so many restaurants, local restaurants, beautiful squares. We can take a ferry to the island. I mean, this, okay, now they got it. This should be a better place for them, because the resort where they've been, it was amazing. But then, of course, every single time they need to go to a restaurant, they had to call a Uber. I mean, and maybe for some people, money is not even an issue, or some people, they want to stay remote too, because they want to stay away from other people or the mess or something. I mean, so all these spots, they are amazing, but we need to understand what is the best for us. What is my goal when I'm travel? Another thing that you mentioned about the size of a Sintra, for instance, here it happens a lot. So we have the city of Faro, so the capital of the Algarve. We have the municipality or the county of Faro, and we have the district of Faro. So many times people, they ask me for a tour or whatever, and they tell me, Gabriel, we're going to stay in Faro. And then I think, okay, they're going to stay in Faro town. And then they say, no, we're going to stay in Salema. Well, but Salema is not Faro. But they read somewhere that Salema
Yep.
belongs to Faro district. Lagos, Faro district. Portimão,
Yeah, just
Faro district.
let's to be a little bit better to understand. Well, let's call that it's like a state. So okay, you have
Yes,
the
yeah,
state of
exactly.
Faro, the county of Faro, and
Yeah.
then the city of Faro in this case. Yeah.
Yes, and then the district of Faro, it perfectly matches the region of the Algarve. So this
Mm-hmm.
could be like a mess. So the Algarve and the district of Faro, it's exactly the same. And then within we have the 16 municipalities or counties, Portimão, Lagos, Albufeira, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so sometimes people, when they think, okay, I'm going to stay in Faro, they have no clue. They think they are in, but they are not. They are somewhere else. Yeah, like I said at the beginning, the Algarve is big. It's really important to read the maps. I mean, I'm going to say something, don't get me wrong, but it's very basic to read maps nowadays. You don't need a atlas or something. We just need internet, Google Maps, whatever, Google Earth, and then we know exactly where the place is. And then we can even measure the distances. A few days ago, I got someone, they were asking the distance between Albufeira and somewhere Algesur. And then I think, is this for real? I mean, I know some people, maybe they're 85 years old, they never touch technology. It makes sense to make these questions. But sometimes it looks like where these people live. I mean, it's so easy nowadays to check Google Maps. So let's say Albufeira, A, Lisbon, B, 245 kilometers. So it's very easy to understand the distances. If you are staying in a villa, you need to see on Google Maps where's the villa, and then you can check the satellite images, and then you can understand, well, there's nothing around this place. So this is the place where I want to stay. So all these things are very important, and I think this is a very good topic, because checking the maps is so important. Because you and I, we've been sharing this, we've been seeing so many people committing mistakes, and then they get frustrated. It's lack of knowledge, but nowadays there's no reason for lack of knowledge. So we can check, or we can ask, and I think we can do better nowadays. It doesn't mean we don't make mistakes. I do mistakes too, but checking a map nowadays, I think it's something very, very easy to do. So my advice, like you, is plan very well. Take a look on the maps. Just spend some time checking the maps. Where is my villa? Where is my hotel? Where
And
is this place?
and where is your goal to go? So where is the place you really
Here
want
we
to
go.
visit?
Okay,
Okay.
so if you want to
So
visit, let's say, for instance, here, the most popular spots, I want to visit Falaisia, I want to visit Benagil, I want to visit Ponta da Piedade. So if you are coming to stay in the Algarve for, let's say, just 2 nights, so you have only one day, and you want to visit Ponta da Piedade, the Cape St. Vincent, it doesn't make any sense to stay, for instance, in Tavira. But if
exactly.
your goal is to visit the nature park of Rio Formosa, Faro, the eastern part, don't stay in Lagos, because then you're going to spend lots of time driving and you're going to spend money. Here we go again. So time is money, even if you have to drive. I mean, we all can do better. We all can plan better, and don't be ashamed. You can ask for help of professional people. And so many times we just help, when people they ask, so Gabriel, where do you think it's a good place to stay? Our goal is this, and then I give my best suggestion based on my knowledge, and I don't charge for that. If people they ask me something very simple, I just answer, and that's it. So let's plan better. By the way, Lionel, okay, time flew by. 30
Yeah,
minutes gone.
exactly.
Here we
Well,
go. It's
30
it's time to
minutes
say goodbye.
30 minutes have gone, and thank you everybody for watching. I will post this on our YouTube channel later, when possible as well, because well, I need to go for a break after this very stressful day, and
Oh,
tomorrow
me too.
morning I'll be back early, very early in the morning. I'll be back on the road. Hopefully, well, it will be much better to drive. And
Yeah.
well,
Hopefully.
we'll see you back next week. Meanwhile, if you want to keep well posting your questions, asking your questions, just feel free to comment over here or create your topics on the Portugal Unplugged. And well, I'll see you back. We'll see you back next Monday. And
Yeah,
well,
exactly.
hoping that well, it will be a nicer day, well, a brighter day with better news than the ones we've been having
Yeah,
today.
exactly.
So we'll be back. Thank you for watching and good evening, everybody. Thank you, Gabriel, as
Bye
well.
bye. Good evening. Thank you, Lionel. See you next week. Have a great week ahead. Bye
Thank
bye,
you.
guys.